All right. So here we go. This week we are going to be kind of reviewing some of our vowel sounds, but we're also going to be talking about what happens when we see the letters ED at the end of a word. Okay. When we are reading words, the letters ED can make three different sounds. Okay. And sometimes we're just going to have to figure out which way sounds the best. Okay, so you might have to read a word and try a couple different ways before you figure out the exact way to pronounce a word. Okay, so let's look at the three sounds of ED. Okay, I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller so you can actually see this. Okay, all right, so when we see the letters ED at the end of a word, the first thing they can say is exactly what you would think. ED can say ed. Okay. So let's look at these three words. We could say added. Do you hear how we said ed at the end of added? Okay. Or erupt ed. Erupted. Okay. Or painted. Paint ed. Painted. Okay. All three of those words are verbs. Okay. So remember that a verb is an action word, right? It's when you do something. Okay. So when we add ed to the end of a word, that means it's already happened. It can say those three sounds. So these three words added, erupted, painted, all have that ed sound. Okay. So the first sound it can make, ed can say ed. Okay. The second sound it can make. Sometimes ed can say t. Okay. So at the end of some of those verbs, if it happened in the past, sometimes a verb can say, the ed at the end of a verb can say t. Let's look at some examples. Okay. Look at the first picture. We see the root word wash. Say that with me. Washed. You see how that word, we don't say washed, right? We say washed. My mom washed the clothes. Or I washed my hands, not I washed my hair, right? So washed. Look at your next one. Kicked. Kicked. But it's spelled with ed, even though it sounds like a t. All right. And our next and the last word is laughed. We don't say, I laughed so hard at your joke. We say, I laughed. So even though it sounds like T, we put ED. Okay. And the third one, so we have ed or ED can say ed, ED can say t. Last one, ED can say d. Okay. So it might sound like d at the end, but really we spell it ed. Okay. So let's look at our examples. Smiled, smiled, mailed, mailed, not mailed, mailed, or smelled, not smelled, smelled, right? So ed can say ed, ed can say t, ed can say d. All right. Now, let's think about this. We're going to sort some words, okay? So what I want you to do, I want you to get a piece of paper, all right? And you can sort it into three columns like Miss Gates has. You can kind of make an ED column, a D column, and a T column, okay? So go ahead and pause your video really quick and set that page up and then come back and we'll do this next part, okay? So pause your video, set up your three columns, E, D, D, and T, okay? And then come back and we will practice these words, okay? All right, you ready? Here we go. Our first word is act, acted, 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 acted. Where do we think this word acted is going to go? It's going to go. Uh-oh. Let me see. It's going to go. It's not going to let me do it. Acted. I'm going to circle it. so that you can see it. Acted is going to go here. Acted. All right. What about our next word? We see smelled. Smelled. Where's that one going to go? Smelled. Smelled. Ooh, that's going to go in the D. All right. Let's look at our next one. Mopped. 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 I hear a T. Okay. Now, what I want you to do, I'm going to let you, you're going to write them. So like I would write this one, A, C, T, E, D, acted. Okay. So you're going to write them under each column. Now, what I want you to do, go ahead and pause your video. Okay. So that you can see this screen. And I want you to sort all of these words into either ed, d, or t. Okay? So pause your video. When you come back, I want you to see if you got them correct. Okay? All right. Here we go. Let's see. Played. That one's going to go in the D. Flunked. Flunked. That's going to go in the T. Banged. Ooh, that's going to go in the D. Dripped. That one's going to go in the T. Hunted. Hunted. That one's going to come over here. Feasted. Feasted. That one's going to come over here. Sailed. Sailed. That one's coming over here. Good job. All right, let's look at our review. Our new red words for this week, okay? Our first red word, ready, is almost. Almost. We almost made it on time. Almost. Okay, here we go. Let's lock and load it. Ready? Almost. A-L-M-O-S-T. Almost. Good job. So our first word, almost. Next word, great. 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 I had a great time at the movies. Great. Let's lock and load. Great. G-R-E-A-T. Great. Good job. Next word, turn. Please make a right turn at the red light. Turn. Okay, here we go. Lock and load it. Turn. T-U-R-N. Turn. Okay, good job. And our last word, same. Same. We have on the same shirt today. Same. All right, let's lock and load it. Same. S-A-M-E. Same. Good job. All right, we are done for today. I hope you have a great day.